You okay with me calling you pizza? Is that
Yeah.
too informal? Is that too informal?
No, that works. That works. It's a little strange talking to a human being and having them call you by your screen username, but
Like, I thrive on awkward situations, so I'm gonna call you pizza.
thank
I'm
God.
talking with a picture of a cartoon with some kind of teddy bear costume on, eating
It's
loads of cheesy pizza.
it's definitely a seal, but that's okay. I forgive you.
A seal,
It's a seal.
like those things which are like half fish and half dog.
Oh, oh, yeah.
Yeah, God, I've seen one of them.
Yeah, I would hope.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
Like in real life? Are you talking about a video or?
Yes, in real life. I don't mean just like a picture. Um, yeah, I'm cultured like that. I've seen a seal.
Gosh, wow. This is why we have you on interviews, right?
Yeah, I mean it wasn't a wild one. It was in Seal World.
Is that what they call it over there?
Yeah, it's like the worst amusement park ever.
That actually sounds like the best one ever. Is it just seals?
Just kind of like very sad, malnourished seals, and
Oh
they
shit.
throw a ball and hope that they check.
Uh-oh. Hold on, you've glitched up a little bit for me. This happens
It's crowd
sometimes with my
round.
Discord.
See, this is the kind of interview I like.
It's just talking about nonsense.
Talking about completely made up fairground attractions. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, we're going to be talking about a completely made up world in 5 seconds here, so.
Wow, how smooth was that?
Oh,
What a
gosh.
link.
It's like I do this for a living or something.
Look at that.
Well, do you want to start talking about Judero? Or how are you feeling?
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
keep talking
I
about Seal
think
World.
I'm getting over my nervousness.
Right on. Break the ice.
Yeah.
My Discord is doing this fun thing where it loves to glitch up on me.
East under the under the company name of Talha and Jack Company Co. It's a romping adventure through the Scottish borders. It's all animated using. Oh God, I should have had some of the models here. How silly of me.
Oh, that would have
Ah,
been. That's
that would have been really neat. Have I got anything? Okay, I've got one of the. Um, I don't know if my camera's even working now. Oh, it is.
it
Kind of
glitches up a bit. Nice.
glitches up a
Okay.
bit. It's all kind of made out of little clay things and stuff like that, and it looks at. I don't know. I mean, I only made it. You probably know what it's about better than I.
The game.
But I was considering like fairy tales and folklore, and I mean I don't quite know the difference between these things like myth, folklore, fairy tale, and like religious story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Looking at all these things and also where they kind of align with like histories of the time where there's no well documented history
Mm-hmm.
mouth and things like that. So it becomes a bit fabricated, like people become giants when they probably weren't, or these kind of Scottish guys can lift incredible weights, which doesn't sound factually accurate at all.
Right.
And looking at all these things and making it as entertaining and engaging as possible in this very colourful world of Judero. Um, the character is called Judero. The main character is, I guess he's a pagan, but he's sort of like a, he's sort of like has this idea of the spirit self and the human self, there's all these ideas of conflict between one thing and another thing, and it's usually rooted in some kind of primalness and a kind of controllingness. So you have the spirit self, which might be a kind of primal self, and I don't know. Actually, that one doesn't make sense. But the Scottishness versus the Englishness. That's kind of like the educated self versus the instinctive self. It's got all these themes I was thinking of when I was writing it, and they play all the way through it. I did all the writing with a lot of helpful guidance from Talha, and a lot of the art, and about half of the music, maybe a bit less. And my good friend Talha did all the clever mechanics and getting it all running so nicely.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of shared the design aspects. Talha does a lot of the beautiful guitar music in the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I guess that outlines what it's all about.
Right on. I definitely feel that. I don't know. You describe the game as almost like not fitting in a mental space. Like when you're talking about it, like it's hard to describe it one way or another. It's hard to describe Judero one way or another as a character, right? It feels so emotional. I was kind of writing about that when I was going through and kind of editing through my stream and refamiliarizing myself with like Act 1 of the game and the beginning of Act 2, and it's so very emotional. It feels
Well, how do you mean emotional?
like I don't know, like every story touches so deeply, right? And that stories continue happening repeatedly for a reason. Like I don't know, I was kind of noticing like maybe the two brothers in Act 2 that you see in one of the homes, Man 1 and Man 2, they made me feel a similar way that like the McKinley brothers made me feel when I was fighting against that boss. I don't know, like misunderstood people that just wanted to like kind of watch something burn, and that story repeating again and again was emotional. I don't know if that
You're
makes any
breaking up a
sense.
little bit. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're
Um,
good.
um, yeah, I guess it's probably guided by emotion. A lot of yeah, it sounds a bit weird, but we were always thinking about what is entertaining,
Mhm.
and but we don't kind of confine entertainment just to fun, really. Like
Mhm.
something which is poignant can be entertaining. Something which is like gross can be entertaining.
Mhm.
Like something which hits you or surprises you in an unexpected way is entertaining. Um, so in that kind of sense, I think it's definitely guided by emotion. I mean, even some of the sad bits are quite apparently ham-fistedly sad.
You think?
Yeah, which is entertaining in its own kind of different sort of way.
Mhm.
Uh, there's a lot of it which I'm not happy about in that sense, which is like like it's kind of putting a postmodern shield up that we're not really jumping into the emotion in a purely honest way. But I think I don't know. I think about it too much. Um, like we're aware that we're doing this, so it kind of defends it from being embarrassing or something like that, instead of going wholeheartedly sentimental or something like that. But in that way, it's also kind of honest, you know. Um. Anyway, yeah. What was the comparison with the McKinley guys? With
Oh,
some people in Area 2?
yeah, in Area 2 there's just these two, I think their names are literally Man 1 and Man 2
Oh
in a
yeah,
house. And they're just like so like it feels like they're so angry at the
yeah.
surrounding world, and it felt like that's what drove the McKinley brothers to be so twisted
Yeah.
in their boss fight too, right? Was just this anger and this maybe misunderstanding from a group of people towards them or something.
And they're kind of like standing so close to each other in that room as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
I don't like those characters. Like this is a problem with
Oh, he broke up a bit.
my voice acting making them sound like a caricature or something.
Hmm.
Whereas what they're saying is like pretty. I don't really like that sort of violent activism kind of
Hmm.
thing. I mean, I agree with protest largely, but they were talking about killing the king or something. Oh no, they were going to do the suffragette thing of throwing themselves in front of the king's carriage,
Yes.
um, or tattooing "chuff off" on their head.
Yeah, on their
S-
forehead.
Yeah, so that I guess kind of lets the player into thinking, okay, these are slightly laughable characters.
Right.
Um, yeah, but they are angry, aren't they? They're
Yeah.
probably the characters I love least in the whole game. Uh,
I think they're fun because they do tie back to other bosses. They make you kind of think about what you've done, I think. I don't know, to me.
yeah, no, definitely part of in sync with that theme, right? You're a very observant player. It's unreal.
Cut out big, I'm sorry.
And I couldn't really watch because it made me anxious. You know, what happens if something breaks or something like that?
Hmm.
And I watched a clip of your reactions on YouTube, and I watched that all the way through, and I, yeah, that's what made me think, oh, okay, I'd love to chat to you about it because you know what the game's about better than I do. Um,
When you said that
so
in DMs, that made me laugh real hard. You said
oh,
that I know
yeah,
it better than you. That's funny.
well, you know what? Sometimes when you're too close to something, you don't really see it.
Well, that kind of feels like I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. Apologies, but that kind of makes me think of the Glass Mountain. Um, when
Oh, we're going to the
you're
end,
too.
right?
Oh yeah, when you're just too. I mean, if I can bring this up right now, if that's all right, it kind of naturally.
Sure. I would also like to talk about our interpretations of the other areas as well, but we can definitely go to the Glass Mountain first because that's the most complicated one for me.
Right. Well, and we don't even have to go too deep into it right now, but the way that you're talking about it just seems a little humorous to me that, you talk about being too close to your work to be able to see the full perspective of it, and it kind of feels like that's all of the characters in the game, right? They're too close to all of this madness or all the story going on that once you step back onto Glass Mountain and you see the full picture, it all kind of clicks together in that moment.
When he's when he fixes everything, or
Yeah, when he kind of just sees everything from that vantage point.
hmm, yeah. So so there's like the things in fairy tales which cross over into loads of stuff.
Mhm.
Like you have the evil something, right? She symbolizes well, yeah, she's interesting because she symbolizes kind of disgust of mature women.
Who is this again? Sorry, you froze up a bit.
They often literally poison things. So that's an example. Or the fool is another archetype in fairy tales where it's like a silly girl or silly boy who kind of fumbles into misadventure, but always kind of ends up
Sorry, Jack, you're freezing
right
up
or
again.
whatever. Um, but then there's another studies of Carl Jung, she looked at dream interpretation, which Sigmund
Oh,
Freud had done,
right.
and she thought, well, fairy tales are kind of like culture's dream, um, or these folkloric stories have been passed down, and they're kind of like, so what is all very fun, but
Sorry, Jack. Hold on. You're freezing up a little bit.
um, and usually protagonists have to I don't know, the yeah, I don't know, feed a monster a plum, feed the next monster an apple, feed the next monster I don't know, something else, and then they get something which allows them to get to the top of the glass mountain. In one story, it's a pair of iron boots. In another story, they just fly up on a winged horse. Um, but it says quite clearly in the game, the glass mountain is uh, What's the words I use? Surmountable, almost insurmountable, but achievable challenge.
Mm,
And I I kind of thought, I mean, from the very beginning, I wanted something casting a spell which is making conflict in this world.
right.
Um, but then looking at, besides what's casting the spell, looking at the concept of the glass mountain, what is this kind of thing which is achievable and which we hope to triumph over. And I kind of, it sounds really sappy, but I kind of equated that with love, and that seemed the thing to go for. That's my interpretation of it. He's kind of conquering. And then there was this other interpretation which I was getting through all the writing, which is that love, magic, light, and art are all kind of different kind of expressions of the same thing. So that's what the triumphing of that. I don't know. What do you think it was?
Well, that's interesting. You know, I mean, so I had a little bit of a different perspective, but at the end of the day, like I don't know that my perspective is in opposition to what you're saying. I like your idea of, or I like this idea of like love being the constant theme throughout. And I don't know if maybe I'm interpreting it wrong, but when I was seeing like,
No, there's no wrong interpretation. No,
y-
no, not at all.
was there, you know, I felt like there was this pull constantly between Mob and between Bessie, and like I don't know, maybe like there was a love for both of them but at separate times in life, and it was kind of like I don't know, sometimes it felt like Judero had to like reconcile with the fact that he had to move on from one of them, right? I don't know.
Right, yeah. You're a very insightful player. That's such a subtle theme. Wow. Wow.
Cuz Mob like passes young, I think, doesn't she? She passes at like I feel like the song says something like age 7, and maybe
She's
it's something where
she's kind of like a cheeky spirit, really,
mhm
where she's kind of constantly, yeah, that kind of spirit in Scottish folklore um just does so many cheeky things. Um but they do it through flirtation,
mhm
and it annoys people. That's why she was turned into a donkey. That's why she
mhm
was turned into
a rabbit. Switch, I don't know why it's freezing
but
up so much.
Judero is a fuck boy. Yeah. I mean, there's
Confirmed.
definitely strong sexual themes in it. Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
constantly.
but um, but I think he's kind of beaten that, and he's definitely deeply in love with Bessie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he has a memento of her all the way through the game. That cup of tea.
Right.
Um, and they lie together, don't they? Come, lay ye down, love. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. They probably sleep together. Um, what? Other bits as well, like time. There's lots of mentions of time in the game. Um, the plant Thyme, and um, time is symbolic of mortality. It's obviously the plant as well, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also in Scottish witchcraft, or whatever. Plant symbology is also represents virginity as well.
Mm.
So the song "Let No Man Steal Your Time."
It is about that.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know quite what yeah, I think there is a kind of a conflict between the three of them, but he's definitely with Bessie. That's how
Yeah.
I see it. What do you think?
No, definitely. It was like there's an emotional tenderness with both, but it feels like almost a bygone era with Mob, and with Bessie it's very present. It's omnipresent through the whole story, but that doesn't stop him from like the second he leaves Bessie's area going, I miss Mob, you know. It doesn't stop him from that
Oh yeah,
immediate moment, right? So
yeah.
I think that there's like I don't know if it's maybe just that he wishes that the thing with Mob could have kept going, or if there is something that maybe Mob has in her soul that Bessie doesn't have in her soul that he kind of misses in that interaction. Do you kind of get what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely thought about this at the time. I wonder what the my notes were. Um, I think he's kind of he probably was a sucker to Mab's love,
Mm.
um, but then overcame it, and they're just like really thankful for each other,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. He always has to help her. There's two things. He always seems to be saving her from something or other, and he always seems to be saying goodbye to her,
Right.
which is I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about the? I don't know. Is this weird conversation? Is this boring conversation? What do you think about the element of the feminine in the game?
Like, what do you mean? And no, it's not boring conversation at all. But sorry, here you might have paused up
Whereby
again. I don't
was
know why it keeps.
one thing which I was really inspired by. Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, I can hear you again now.
Okay. One thing which I was really inspired by was this book called The White Goddess by Robert Graves, and it's a really mad book, but it kind of became like my Bible, where
Mm-hmm.
I was just dipping into it all the time, and lots of the kind of themes I've taken sort of, well, they're also pagan themes or ancient Celtic themes, where the universe is born from woman. Man is there to perpetuate woman, to help this kind of creative energy go on. Um, so there it is, the White Goddess. Like they should have been white, not yellow.
Yeah, kind of missed the mark.
Um, yeah. Um, I also kind of invert the themes of the White Goddess with the Blodoved fight, where instead of a white goddess and the green man, it's like her suitor is this very pale white guy, and she's green. Anyway, so yeah, I kind of felt the game,
So
the
what was that last
feminine.
bit you said?
I feel like there was an undercurrent of a kind of
I keep doing this, chat. I would definitely say, yeah, like, I don't know. It feels like a lot of the story is maybe driven by I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just looking into this because you're saying it now, but it feels like a part of the story is completely driven by the women within it. I mean, Judero wouldn't know really where to go at any given moment if like Mob wasn't constantly there telling him what to do.
yeah.
Is that, I don't know, maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but every time that he saves Mob has like extremely insightful information to guide him on his journey forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she is a functional character as well. She just tells you, "Oh, look, there's a save stone. Press X to." But
You can run
yeah,
by.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. But, okay, I mean, that's a kind of theme which I picked up retroactively, so I'm not sure if it's right or not. But that's what I like to do with my writing. That it's interpretable. That it's there's it can be read into if the audience wants to or not, or I want to or not.
Well, it's the best kind of writing. I actually think I have a screenshot that literally says that. Or hold on. Yeah, the
Rob
well-imagined
Graves,
fiction story is a treasure trove for meaningful diggings.
the well-imagined fiction story. Yeah, I mean that's a bit of a blunt piece of writing, isn't it? That's
Sometimes
just
I
exact.
think you need that, don't you? For some people. Well, you know, I
Good
guess
at missing stuff, right?
that kind of has me wondering if I should ask my next question of
Oh yeah, go
you
for it.
know, I have to ask. I'm very curious about this one personally. You know,
Mm.
what made you feel like this one was maybe more of a sellout than your previous games?
I mean it's a bit facetious,
Mm-hmm.
but um, I mean literally my games don't really make much money. I don't um like I spent too much time on them. They were way too niche,
Mm-hmm.
and I sold them for far too cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there was an effort to think, okay, what's going to be sellable? Um, in that regard, it was sellout. Um, but as as development went on over the 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
uh, yeah, it became pretty clear that it was still very idiosyncratic,
Right.
very very different. I didn't realize it would be. I mean, we're thinking it's going to be like it was going to be like there's a an anime called Ninja Scroll. Ninja
Right.
is
Okay.
it which is like this kind of stoic ninja, and he has to beat up 7 baddies. It was going to be basically a Scottish version of that with Kirby like combat,
Okay.
um, which it kind of is. um, it kind of is, but yeah, it's book, and you meant to color that in. I
Mhm.
kind of scribbled everywhere else as well. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, it's not sell out enough, I don't think. I think we can go further next time to selling out.
Push it even further.
Yeah. Zombies.
Those are
Oh my
falling out of
god.
style. I don't think you can do those anymore.
Well, what's hot?
Um, let's see. Metroidvanias are pretty prime right now. About RPG Maker games.
Oh, come on.
Hey, you want sellout? I'm getting there.
No, I've done like 10 RPG Maker games. They did not sell.
You gotta make them. You gotta make them really quirky and be overly cute.
Not cute. That's my problem.
Yeah. Gonna be either super
Definitely.
cute or like horrifically gross.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, try my RPG Maker games. I'll send you a key. They are
Yeah.
pretty gross.
Are they gross?
There's one where, like, do you remember who Barack Obama beat in was it his second term?
No. Not
It
at
was a
all.
guy called it was a guy called Mitt Romney,
Oh,
and I
that's
did
the
a game
guy.
about Mitt Romney
About Mitt
being
Romney.
like a couple of months after being beaten by Obama, and he's really become
Oh
a
no.
violent drunk, and he has a sex doll in his dungeon,
Oh good
and
lord.
he it turns out there's someone inside the sex doll. It's pretty mad.
No,
I
okay,
thought
so
it was
now
I
I'm
thought it
getting
was
to
funny, but it didn't sell. Why didn't it sell pizza?
It's okay. It is actually I don't know if this is a weird topic, but it is absolutely hysterical. My boyfriend is slowly getting into game dev. And I
Oh yeah,
swear
good.
some of the games that he's talked about making, like his pipe dream games, like his silly ones, it's exactly that kind of game that you just described. You know what I mean?
Ah, make
Like the
them.
Mitt Romney sex doll game.
Yeah, it's called Mitt Romney and the Sex Doll.
Is it really? That's fucking awesome.
Here he goes again about Mitt Romney's sex doll. Come on, it's not talked about enough.
Well, you bring it up at every dinner party.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny. Mitt Romney and the Sex Dolls. That's his new band.
Look, I don't know fuck all about American politics, to be honest.
You've
I
got it
just thought,
spot on with the sex doll.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's safe guess with a politician, right?
I think I found it. You made it back in 2012?
Oh my god, 12 years ago. Oh my
My aging
god.
you, sorry.
No, no, just I've been going on about it for 12 years. That's embarrassing. Yeah, okay. Is there any questions from the chat which we could look at?
No, hear me see. We did answer whether Judero was a fuckboy or not, so that's good. Kush was wondering what your favorite movie is. Are you a movie person?
I like movies about yeah, I don't really watch many movies.
Hmm.
My favorite movie um I'll have to pass.
Have to pass, I understand. Alright, let me see. Hold on,
Yeah.
one was mentioned too.
No, I'll think about it. Maybe
Oh,
The Straight Story by David Lynch. That's really nice. Um
are you a Lynch fan? Or just like that movie in particular?
mm, yeah. Yeah, I would like. I think I am. Yeah,
A Lynch fan.
I'm. Yeah, no, he's fantastic. He is. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
You don't have to
I
be.
think
I'm not pressuring you.
I like a lot of things like that. I don't like how I feel like it's a puzzle sometimes when I'm watching them.
Ah.
I don't like that. Like some of them not. Like Eraserhead's pretty good,
Mhm.
but then some of them feel like puzzles.
Right.
Like, and I just want to know what it's all about. Like, what's that all about? I don't like that feeling. Feeling it makes me feel stupid sometimes. I
Oh,
guess.
okay. Yes. I understand.
The straight story's nice, and that guy, he had cancer.
Mm.
Death, or whatever it's called, where instead of letting anyone know he had cancer, he would have a long drawn out death. He decided to kill himself. Blew,
Oh.
um, yeah, the actor. He was very old. Beautiful, beautiful film. Beautiful music in it as well. Um, yeah, I don't know. I like horror movies a lot, but I'm a
Mhm.
bit of a psychopath that they kind of, I find them entertaining rather than scary.
Right.
So sometimes I go to the cinema and I'm watching something by myself. I walk up by the cinema by myself and watching
Mm.
something horrifically violent, and I'm just there laughing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's not healthy. People people look at me funny, but the immersion doesn't work with films that much. It works with stories,
Mhm.
but if it's just like a guy, attacking people or something like that, or like I know it's not real,
Right.
so I just find it very entertaining. Um, in a very similar way to a comedy.
Mhm.
Yeah, anyway. And there was a horror. So there was a horror film called Talk to Me, which I found very very funny.
Right.
Um,
Comedy of
yeah,
the year.
and comedy of the year. But
Was a
yeah.
good movie though. I mean, when that kid gets the shit kicked out of him, it was like, oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that bit was so
It's like
shocking.
crazy. Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing sometimes is you're so shocked you can't help but laugh because like, what the fuck am I
Right.
seeing?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'm
It's
defending you here.
it's like a nervous reaction, shall we say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, any other questions? Is that it?
Um, so Noel asked, is there a specific year that Judero is set in?
Ah, that's an interesting question. Not really. There's a few different periods it's set in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's set in the
Wait, let me ask your question now.
for
Give me just 1 second. I think that you're glitching up a bit.
to be alive. And things like the walking song and things like that, where those
Sorry,
ladies were making music. Sorry, am I cutting out? Sorry.
you cut out a bit. Could you start just a little bit over?
Yeah, so it's set in 1300s to allow for the mythology of the area and the kind of nomadic lifestyle of these small villages and stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
also set in the 1600s, where it directly references the introduction of Christendom to Scotland, and um, and the conflicts um, between that and the herbologists like Bessie Dunlop and these kind of old healers, or
Right.
uh, and there's a big kind of sexual conflict there as well between um, like the concept of Mother Mary was taught as women should be pure and virginal,
Mm-hmm.
and um, this was taught to to everyone who followed the church, which therefore kind of made witch hunters, because they didn't like to keep on the biblical reference, they didn't like the Eve in women. They didn't like the earthy, sexual presence, and it's horrible. I've got a book of James the Sixth witch trials there, and they were just so horrible to these women who were, you know, Bessie Dunlop, for example. There wasn't a single negative thing she did. She helped find missing things, like missing coin purses. She she would administer kind of like early psychology, like listening to people, having cups of tea with them. She would one famous leg, and she was like, okay, don't.
Someone broke their leg.
And then she was burned alive. And it's just disgusting, really. So there's that kind of conflict, and then there's lots of positive.
Sorry, chat. I don't know why it's doing it. Broke up big time here, Jack.
What's that?
You broke up big time there.
Oh no, did I?
It was just like the last little part. So you were talking about how Bessie had one story where like did someone break their leg? I think you said.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, no, I hate to bring you back. It's so bad right now. I don't know what's up.
Their leg.
Mhm.
Am I still? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you broke up again there, but I can hear you now. Yeah, I don't know why.
Camera off. Will that help?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what'll help. I was doing some research earlier, and it was just saying that updating to the most recent version, but I'm on it. I'm on the most recent version of Discord. So I don't know what would help.
Okay. Maybe I'll minimize some windows or something like that. Who knows? Yeah, someone broke their leg, and she basically said, anything you do will make it worse. And it turned out she was entirely right. And then she was burned alive. I think. And then also the game is set in the 1800s as well, with the introduction of this conflict between Scotland and England, with the English trying to eradicate the Scottish folklore. There was a kind of Education Act in the late 1800s, which meant that Gaelic was forbidden to be taught in Scotland, and anyone speaking Gaelic in schools was punished. So it's kind of got that thing there as well. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you, yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool.
That's interesting. Yeah. I like the time in memoriam, like just I don't know. It feels like it centers around a lot of conflict.
Yeah. And there's also modern day characters in the interiors as well. There's a baby grow, and there's a camera. There's someone who talks about cars.
Yeah, the interview.
Yeah, the interview. That's one of the funniest jokes in the game, I think, which goes over everyone's head, but I find it really funny. My father was a Dalridian. Says it all, really. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know what that means, but it's a funny thing to say. Anyway.
I like what you say about you know, because you kind of brought up Carl Jung earlier. How much of an inspiration was he really? Because you talk about like femininity as well, and I've done my fair bit of research on Carl Jung, and you know, a big thing that he talks about is like the layers of self and how you view others based on what layer of self you're in, and like how you view women when you're maybe missing a part of yourself that you don't quite understand yet.
Yeah, I love Carl Jung. I think he's totally right. And every year which passes, I think he's more right.
Mm.
Um, there's a aspect which plays into the game is the perceived roles in conversations where someone takes on an adult map is always playing a kind of child role,
Mm-hmm.
or kind of always appealing to Judero's authority in a funny kind of way.
Yeah.
So that was the only real thing I was cognizant of in terms of that, really. But then there's a very kind of Jungian magic throughout. The cow at one point says, "The wild magic, the smell of a woman's hair," which feels like quite broken up again.
Yes, but I heard what you said about like the cow. You said the
Yeah,
line was what, the smell of a woman's hair, and then you felt it was quite what?
quite a Carl Jungian line.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is isn't really the magic of witches and wizards, or like Harry Potter, Gandalf kind of magic. The
Mm-hmm.
magic which I'm referring to is kind of intuition,
Right.
um, which is pretty, I think, quite a Jungian concept, or at least I link it with him because there was a saying which is some some kind of American talking head said, which was facts. What was it? Facts don't care about your feelings,
Yes, yes.
and that's like pretty a pretty obvious thing to say, but
Right.
also misses a massive aspect of gut feeling and
Mm-hmm.
of intuition, which are really important when it comes to a lot of things.
Right.
When it comes to conversation, for
Right, right. Or you know, talk about the sea of the collective consciousness as well, and how that plays into
finding a
things.
girlfriend or a boyfriend, or
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to when you're in a crisis, what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's when you really got to look to your feelings. So I think that's a Jungian thing.
Right. Or there's a great line.
Can be more important than facts.
Yeah, you know, you talk about like gut feeling, instinct, things like that. There's also this like the all of the things that we pass on to, like, you know, the next generation, and then they can act what better, or maybe pass things on better. I like this quote here where it says, "I see in my child an awakening that I remember as my own," and it feels like I talk about pretty often with like my own spheres of people this idea of like reincarnation, but not literal reincarnation, but reincarnating through like your child, the memories you pass down, the moments you pass down, things like that.
Yeah, children are amazing. Was there a question? Sorry.
Oh no, sorry, I was just kind of discussing that with you. I didn't really ask anything about it. Just saying that it played into, I feel like, the collective consciousness, or like the I guess I kind of lost the lost the first point at this
Yeah,
point. Yeah.
yeah. There's that whole hippy dippy idea of the collective consciousness, which I don't really. believe, or I don't, I'm agnostic to.
Hmm.
But I obviously really entertained it for this game. That it is a thing, and it's drying up, and we need to fill it up. How do we fill up consciousness with conflict? Uh, so yeah, it's interesting when it comes to children, though. I think children are very magical, very kind of pure. No, not pure. Don't filthy little things. Very very full of love.
Hmm.
Very naturally creative
Hmm.
because and and naturally light. Like there often comes moments in our life where we know one way is good and one way is bad.
Hmm.
Um, but there's the whole world of meaning and context on top of it, which completely obfuscates, clouds it, and
Hmm.
children don't really have that. They know
Right.
when they're doing bad, and it's nice. Um, it's nice. And then what did I say? I see in my own child an awakening. Yeah, yeah. It awakens something. You remember. You remember. You remember. Um, you
So,
remember your mental patterns calibrating in a different way,
right.
which is unbelievable. Which is why you see loads of embarrassing mums trying to do the climbing frame.
There's a there's quite a bit in children that remind us of like unknowing, I guess is how I would put it. Like kids are so unknowing that they can just be. And I feel like there's a reminder in them with that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
sometimes you're constantly thinking about how should I act? What should I do? How should I be? How should I look for other people? Like you said, what role should I play in this conversation? But
yeah.
kids can't be bothered to care about that. They're just them in any given moment. Doesn't matter.
Well, that's not true.
Hmm.
You get you get yeah, for a lot of kids,
I suppose it won't be.
they're eating a pack of chips, as you Americans call them. You're sitting on the potty eating a pack of chips. Then the ego comes in and they're like, "Oh Jesus Christ! Hope no one sees me like this." It comes in very gently and yeah. But one of my kids is very sensitive
Mm.
and very aware um, of how they should be in a situation. My kids are young as well,
Uh huh.
and yeah, it's quite. I remember that as well. I remember both ways, so I don't know. Yeah, kids are cool. Um, I don't know what we're talking about now. What were the other questions? There was a.
Yeah, I'm reading through my notes right now. I'm like, all right, let me get us back on track here. Let me see, because I have a couple things that I want to talk about a little bit more before, um, maybe we get into
Is
another
this? Are
question.
you okay with this chat? I thought it'd be more thrilling. I thought it'd be more invigorating. Um,
Talking about the game.
but yeah, I don't know. Okay, I've got a question for you. So,
Okay.
so you had an interpretation of the first area,
Hmm.
which was like these guys are kind of dickheads, but they're kind of understandable where their problems come in,
Hmm.
right? Or something like that.
Right. Right, a bit of
Oops.
that. You froze
Yeah.
up a bit, but you asked, yeah, if I was a little like sympathetic to the, I guess, wrongdoings of the people in the first area. I would say yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Because
thought
it
that
felt
was
like
quite an
that's what the
interest.
story was building to, honestly. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I thought it was quite an interesting little thing. Like, these guys are know what their bad actions were, um, but uh, but they are kind of sympathetic as well.
And I kind of thought that was the point. Like, you know, you've got your villains, you know, your bosses in Act 1. And if you don't really look into it and you don't read it and it's all very surface level, they're just the baddies, right?
Yeah.
But as you go through the story, I mean, like, you've got to save Mob from situations a couple times where people are saying that, you know, she's doing awful shit, and I don't know, that seems unbelievable to me. Maybe I'm like Judero and I'm hypnotized by her ways, but I don't think that Mob necessarily did anything to be locked away. Maybe it was just their misinterpretations. And when I start to think that way about Mob, it makes me think that way about everybody that I've fought throughout the game. Did I just have a misinterpretation? Maybe one misinterpretation led to a ton of negative actions towards that person, and it made them react the way that I finally saw them, in this villainous state. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's pretty bang on. For Area 1.
Mm.
But Area 2, there's a kind of thing which is kept from the players, that these are um so Area 1 is kind of bastardized folk tales and, what do you call them, urban legends of the kind of
Mhm.
area. Um and sadly it's just basically physically disabled people who've been turned into monsters in the village's head, really.
Mm.
Um that's kind of what it comes down to. But it still seems like they were dickheads anyway.
Right.
Um, so it's got an interesting vibe to it. But there's also something symbolic about them. You know, the McKinleys were tax collectors, which is anyway, and like Thomas Musk
Breaking up a bit here, Jack. Hold on.
and fantasy, like him having a giant and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, I was wondering what your kind of is your interpretation of that the same as interpretation of the first area?
Not necessarily. I don't know that, you know, I guess Area 2 to me feels like there's less sympathy there, but to me it's like, what does that matter? At the end of the day, everyone has, I feel like Area 2 is really trying to be like, everything has a story. Everybody has a story. There are things that that's heavier in Area 3, I think, but it's like everybody has a story and reasons that they act the way that they do, or reasons that they've come to be the way that they are. And just as like souls on, like, I can't remember the specific isle, maybe it was Isle of Death, can like twist and germinate on feelings of negativity, so can the living, and that makes
Mm-hmm.
them do terrible things. And in an ideal world, you know, I guess that's where we get to the ending, is like, in an ideal world, we could wipe away all of those negativities and just move on with one another, not point fingers all the time, judge one another constantly. So I don't really see that like the people in Area 2 are any better. I don't justify their actions, I think.
I think they seem more kind of irredeemably evil.
Especially Gilligantus, right? Or is that his name, right?
Galligantus, yeah.
Galligantus, yes. Especially him. The other one, Saining Shi, is that how I say it?
Yeah.
She, she was
So
a little...
Saining is like weaving a spell, and she
Ah,
is Gallic for fairy.
okay.
So it's, yeah, fairy which casts spells. Not very interesting name, but
She seemed a
uh,
little more understanding because, I mean, I, I guess, she fell for the wrong person, but at the end of the day, wasn't it just like she asked for help with a wet nurse
yeah,
and the town just completely rejected her? And it's like,
yeah,
well, that would make my heart fester with anger, I think.
yeah, yeah. I guess I told that I've got a little niece, and
Mhm.
she's 5. And I was like, I'm doing a game of fairy tales. Oh, cool, cool. Oh, she's got such a little sweet voice, and oh wow. And can you tell me one? What do you want to know about fairies? And I told her that, and, and at the end, she's just like pale. And what happened to the baby?
Ah,
uh,
he was fine.
I realized that, yeah, 5 years old is a bit too young to be, but
To be
yeah, I
telling
don't know.
that.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I guess. So I've pulled up the original design document to see if there's any clues from like 2.5 years ago. What was
Hmm.
I thinking about the different areas? Um, but it's just changed so much.
Right. Well, 2 years is a long time.
Designed,
Hmm.
and it was meant to be about a divide between landowners and the township.
Hmm.
Um, so it's very, very different. Very, very different.
Than to how
Um,
it is in the game.
yeah. And part 3 was meant to be in Wild Forest Islands. Okay, pretty close. And that's where Galligantus was meant to be.
Oh, interesting.
The 3 bosses of Area 2 were meant to be a landowner, um, a big blue guy, but it wasn't a Fomorian, um, and Sir Afanasiev, the Bold Knight. Anyway, I'll send you a copy of this if you're interested.
Oh, definitely.
Um, and then part 5, we had a stretch goal to have a part 5,
Oh, wow.
which we never made it to. Oh, I had the Norse King's daughter in it,
Oh,
who's a
interesting.
kind of fire element lady.
Hmm.
A bit like there's a Disney film called Brave, a bit like
Oh,
that.
right. Okay.
Then there was going to be a Lord of the Green Palace, a guy there. Anus, which I thought was just such a good name. Spelt Aines, but it's pronounced anus. um, Anus and the Bard, which would have been a fight against 2 people.
Oh, too bad he wasn't there.
Anus.
Poor Anus.
I
In the
know.
DLC.
Oh God, I don't think I don't think we'll, I don't think we'll have a DLC.
Like, don't say that.
Yeah, okay, so what was that all about? Why was I talking about that? Oh, themes of Area 2, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, I guess she is a bit more redeemable. And the Galligantus is just a horrible guy. Anus DLC. Exactly.
That would do numbers, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Slightly Bluebeard. So Bluebeard is referenced in Judero. the story, the fairy tale of Bluebeard was, I'm absolutely obsessed with fairy tales. Was oh my gosh, what
Oh,
was
this was referenced in the movie Cure as well, I think. The tale of Captain Bluebeard.
um so it was, who was Joan of Arc's right hand man?
Hmm. Not learned enough, sorry.
Gilles de Rais. So Gilles de Rais was this cool serial killer. He he felt when Joan of Arc turned his uh, God turned his back on them when Joan of Arc was killed. So Gilles de Rais went brutal, like really horrible. What does it say? Um, yeah, serial killer of children, no less. But
Oh, great.
he just did the most gruesome. Just said, "Oh no, forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned." It's a way to get back into heaven. Um, and he was the story of Bluebeard is based on him,
Hmm.
where the fairy tale is beautiful. Yeah, beautiful young ladies are asked to a big party by this guy called Bluebeard, who's pretty cool, pretty handsome, but he's
Mm-hmm.
got a blue beard, which is so not hot. It's just not hot at all.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the ladies is kind of like, yeah, you know, he does throw a good party. I'm kind of modernizing it a bit. He does throw a good party, but he's got that silly blue beard. You know what? I'm gonna marry him. You know, she's a bit of a gold digger. I'll be able to have this nice house. I'll be able to,
Cool parties all the time.
but every now and then I'm gonna go away, and you must never look in this room. And then of course she looks in the room and there's loads of dead children, and then he kills her. Um, that's the fairy tale of Bluebeard. I was pretty shocked. I thought he was a pirate or something, Bluebeard. But it's really. So any ladies want to come to my party?
Yeah, hey, Bluebeard, hit up Bluebeard. What was
Don't
the moral of the story? Listen to your husband, I think. Or maybe it was a version of
ballistic
Curiosity
story.
Killed the Cat.
Yeah, it basically is that, isn't it? But Judero has it like, I had this girlfriend, but I'm really boring, so I said, "Don't look in that room," and then she left me.
And there wasn't anything in the room. She just.
She just couldn't be bothered with a guy with her room she couldn't go in. I don't know. I thought it was
Maybe what he
funny.
was too controlling.
Too
That's kind of how I
controlling.
took it.
Yeah,
Like, don't look in
yeah,
the room. Fuck you. I'll go where I want.
yeah. Exactly. She's cool. He was a dork.
I was a bit of a dork.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Worried that people might take it too seriously.
The game?
But anyway. Yeah, like, this is me being a bit probably frank. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's such a art game" or something like that, which kind of makes it sound like it's not fun or not entertaining or something.
Right.
But I think it is like really fun. All these silly things are fun. They're funny. These like weird references to silly things.
Well,
Um,
I think what's so fun about it is like there's moments where it's starting to get a little serious, and then someone will just say some off kilter shit, and you'll just giggle and move on, you know?
oh yeah. I think also that like even if they're saying some dead serious things, you kind of take a step back and it's told by like an action figure with a blob of clay on its head.
Well, that's true. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, so Gilgamesh is definitely influenced by Gallic stories. One of the yeah, there definitely is. Um, one of the Gallic treasures is a sword which, whenever drawn, kills its foe, like the
Mm-hmm.
story in Beowulf. Um,
Oh, but what? It fails last minute.
analysis I do, which is
Breaking up a bit, Jack.
when a young guy gets his sword in the in different stories, whether it's the whole
Sorry, chat.
childhood in the
Mm-hmm.
Shire to being a man. And Gilgamesh is really interesting because the only the only person the sword doesn't defeat. I'm such a dweeb. God, listen to me. The only person the sword doesn't defeat is Gilgamesh's mother.
Oh, wait 1 second, Jack.
Um,
Wait, Jack, can you go back just a little bit? Again, the feminine aspect, yeah. With the
overcomes
sword.
overcomes male virility because yeah, I don't know.
You
Yeah,
broke up
I
a
don't know.
little there,
Yeah, I
but you were
don't think
talking
it's as
about.
shallow as that Gilgamesh's mother isn't very hot or something like that.
No,
I
no.
I think it's I don't know. I think it's got something more to it. Yeah, good question. So yeah, Gilgamesh definitely is referenced sort of in Judero. It's a
The
really good
stories are
story.
referenced.
What's that, sorry?
The stories are referenced,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
for sure. Act 3, right?
I love that bit. Just I mean it's a bit boring, perhaps, because there's big chunks of text. But
Mm-hmm.
looking at the Gaelic treasures, these ancient like stories, and how they've kind of reverberated through all other folklore.
Mm-hmm.
Like the most amazing one is this the Stone of Fowl, which is like I mean in the Gaelic it's just a stone which you stand on and it screams. If you're the right guy, it screams. You know, is this the guy? Get him to stand on the stone. It screamed. He's the guy. Um, which kind of later evolved into a real thing, which coronates the king or leaders like Bonnie Prince Charlie. I'm not sure if King Charles was coronated with it, but it's a stone called the Stone of Destiny
Oh, it's a real stone.
recently. Um, and all the kings had to sit on this stone, and they were, you know, if you sit on the Stone of Destiny, that's you. You're the king. And of course, it spawned other stories like the sword in the
Mm-hmm.
stone. You know, the chosen person pulls the sword from a stone.
Right.
But the most interesting one is how the Bible might be influenced by this Celtic tale, where um, the Holy Grail was originally not a cup. The Holy
Oh.
Grail was originally a stone underneath the cross of Jesus Christ's crucifixion, where Jesus' blood fell on it,
Oh.
and this became the Holy Grail. So yeah, so this idea of a holy stone, which then coronates the king, the leader of well, the head of the church is the king or the queen. So it could be that somehow ancient Celtic myths influenced the Bible. I like that. Um, or at least there's a kind of universal idea of stone being linked with holiness, being linked with leadership. I don't know. It seems weird,
Well,
but it's
you
cool.
kind of get into like the collective consciousness when you think about that a little, right?
I
Like,
know, I
why
know.
does the sun through all cultures, be it from ancient China to ancient Greece or wherever, why do they all represent the same thing? Why does the stone have this intrinsic knowledge of who should rule the land that it stands upon, right? It's just interesting.
And the elements as well. I didn't realize that these different things represented the elements in the, fire, wind, earth, water.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that in Tibetan culture, you can see that in Native American culture,
Mm-hmm.
and Aztec culture, but that's a bit more obvious, right? But yeah, interesting. Oh, blah blah blah. Is this? I don't know. I feel sorry for your listeners.
Why? No, screw them. They can listen. They're gonna be fine.
Yeah, this is great. Hey, chat, if you got any questions, please.
Oh yeah.
It's really interesting, actually. Yeah. Man, I'm such a geek about fairy tales.
My chat's a bunch of pseudo intellects. They like this shit.
Oh yeah, the best kind of intellect.
Yeah, chronically online. You know.
Chronically online intellect. Tell us more about Nomi. Nomi's a kind of stoner or something, isn't he? He just talks nonsense. I thought he was kind of talking the kind of nonsense which was entertaining nonsense. I can't remember exactly what he says, but he's like, "Oh my god, no, I remember him clearly."
Left is right.
Yeah. So this was from an art lecture. I studied with this absolutely. Well, she was an exchange student from Germany, and she had the privilege of being jaw-droppingly beautiful, which meant that people paid to, went to her art talks, and she talked such rot. It was such nonsense. But you have just these fawning art fans going, "Wow, yeah. Left is the opposite of right." I loved it. I mean, I find artists. Oh,
sorry, what'd you say there, Jack? Art is what?
No. I sometimes find artists pretty hard to take seriously.
Right.
And when they're talking about, that sort of thing. But some of it, it makes you kind of. Yeah, I think that's what I like about it. That it makes you think about how your own interpretation of what they're saying. You don't really care about what they're saying. It makes you think for yourself. So I guess that's the quality of that sort of thing.
I think that's one fun thing about Judero is that you've added a lot of these elements, and maybe it's not all indicative of the same story. Maybe it's not all indicative of what you think personally, but it makes you think.
Yeah, exactly, and that's fun, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's the point of art, isn't it?
Makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I guess art has a few different functions. One is like aesthetic art, like nice looking things, pretty jewelry, cool costumes, nice Tupperware, nice stuff, a nice that's called crafts. Then you have kind of very design, which is how useful something is, like a nice looking bollard, which is also very practical, or car. They all cross over a bit as well.
Right. Okay.
And then you have art, capital A art, fine art.
Just being a bit simplistic with it.
Medium to relate entirely to meaning. which is like doing a performance which is about endurance or something like that, or painting. But it doesn't need to make you think. Like thinking is kind of maybe it's just a bit of a byproduct of art, whereas tapping into something meaningful. Like I never liked photography, like at all. Um, which I kind of regret now because I don't have any photos of me like between age 6 and 28. But then I saw one photograph of it was the freeing of a concentration camp called Dachau, and it's all these British guards around, and there's one woman, a Jewish woman, throwing a punch at this lady, this other lady, and it was just, I think the title was something like prisoner confronts the person who told the Nazis about her. And it's just the moments before this, nose-breaking, jaw-breaking punch is gonna hit this woman who's just reserved to take it, and all the British army men just there, like, yeah, you deserve it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it really made me think, but it made me like feel. It made me I guess it made me think. Interesting. But thinking definitely goes along with meaning.
I guess
trying
that's
to think
kind
of
of what I
meaningful
meant.
art. Trying to think of meaningful art which doesn't make me think.
Mm-hmm.
Music. Does music make you think, or dance? I don't know. Oh my god, you got me thinking.
How dare I? Is this art? Is this interview art?
Oh my god, must be. Seems like it. Who's to say it's not? Well,
Just
no.
one.
What does people say? Is it art? Oh no, what is it? People say, Jesus Christ. Not yet. It will be. Not yet. Is something art? Not yet. Yeah. The meaning of art is what is art is like a perforated circle. Art is everything inside this circle, but the circle has so many holes around it that just anything can be art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like art. Yeah. Is it cake? Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah.
show.
I've never seen it.
It's really stupid, actually.
It seems like a show which, like, knowing the concept of the show is enough to fucking not have to ever watch it.
Well, it's more a baking show than anything, but the gimmick is like, oh shit, is this a keyboard or will I cut it into cake?
Oh yeah? Is it
Yeah.
always cake?
Well, there's always a cake. So like they have to they'll put there's like 3 judges, right? And they put like 3 rubber ducks up there, and one of the 3 rubber ducks is cake, and they'll have to guess which one is cake. And if they don't guess, then the person wins money.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a shit.
That's why I said it's pretty stupid, but
yeah.
It sure is entertaining.
Yeah. Oh my god. I've watched rubbish. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
About the rubbish.
I watch horrible shows. I watch like what are they called? Human endeavor shows.
I don't know what that means.
It's usually like some kind of like grossly physically disabled guy. And you might have, I don't know.
It's like fucking like TLC.
Exactly.
Oh, like My 600-Pound Wife or something.
Oh, I love it. I love
I
mine.
love it.
That's my favorite
No.
one.
No.
That's my
You,
favorite one.
you meant rubbish when you said it. Holy.
I mean, beyond rubbish because
Yeah, no.
it's formulaic. It's also like quite obviously contrived,
Right.
and it's really, really exploitative of these people who are, yeah, you can't do anything but feel sorry for. Um, so yeah, I don't feel good about watching them,
No, but
but
like you do.
I do.
Yeah.
um, do you have any other projects cooking besides Judero, or has that been your whole focus lately? Yeah, um, I don't, I don't know why I shouldn't talk about them, but um, probably shouldn't.
A little too
But
early.
yeah, definitely do.
Well,
Um,
good.
I mean, you'll find out in, I guess, a month and a bit. Might start
Mm-hmm.
teasing it soon. Um, and then there's two games. One which is kind of going for audience. Like I think it's going to be a thing. Who knows? Um, then I've got a dream project I'd like to make. Oh, I'd cut out, did I?
Yeah, a little bit. You said a couple months. I think that's where we last heard you. Month or two. You've got something coming down the pipeline.
Yeah. Um, yeah, there'll be teasers of it soon. Probably try and get some crowdfunding for it. To help production.
Yeah.
But if we make enough money with any of these projects, I do have. Then there's three other things as a
Mm-hmm.
company. Um, but there's one dream project if we have enough money to be comfortable, I'd like to make, and it's a very very sweet, very sweet idea.
Yeah.
But
Something
it's
a
not
little more
sellable
tender.
really. Yeah,
Mm.
very tender. It's not sellable really because it's yeah. But yeah, lots of exciting stuff. Oh my gosh! I mean, to be honest, we're both pretty mentally fragile. I don't
Uh-huh.
know, um, but we've got so many. I mean, Talha's such a hi, Talha. Have you been creeping? Have you been lurking? Um, Talha's a really, you know, a creative powerhouse as well. He's
Mm-hmm.
got some fantastic ideas cooking, but he's going to be, yeah, he's kind of yeah, okay. Okay, I'm not saying anymore. I really, I need to talk to you, Talha, about we should talk about. But because there's this weird kind of thing which big companies do is like, oh, but I can't talk about that yet. But we're not under NDNAs, whatever they are. NDNAs? No, that's
NDA.
DNA. NDA.
NDNA.
NDNA.
Just call it
I
that
like
from now
that.
on.
NDNA. It sounds better like that.
Yeah, it does.
Um, but anyway, it's a conversation I should have with Taha.
A little too
Um,
soon to be having it, huh?
yeah. Oh my god, our ideas are so cool, so exciting. Like at least four, four brewing, one brewing hot at the moment.
Hot, hot.
Um, yeah.
Are you guys thinking of
Uh,
sticking with the same style, or are you going a different art direction? I guess, can I ask that?
definitely. Um, I mean, it'll be stop motion. I like
Mm-hmm.
making models, and
Right,
we learned so much during the making of Judero.
right.
Just the how to quickly make things, and And it kind of, for me, it's easier to do than other things.
Hmm.
Um, it looks cool, man. I think it looks cool.
Oh, it looks badass.
Um, then, but they're different kind of different worlds,
Hmm.
not not fantasy worlds. Well, yeah, fantasy worlds, but not, sword and wizards and stuff. Fantasy.
Mm.
Um, but I guess, yeah, same kind of art style, different kind of mechanics and stuff.
Okay,
Um, yeah, yeah, I think that's about as much as I feel comfortable to say.
totally. How did you get into stop motion? We had someone ask that question, but one of your previous games, I hope I'm saying it right. Is it Dujana?
Dujana, yeah.
Yeah, Dujana you
Um,
did kind of a stop motion for too, right? So where did this all start?
um, I, well, I studied art, so
Hmm.
making stuff and like knowing materials was I know that, like how to paint stuff. Um, but then when I started doing RPG Maker games like 15 years ago or something like that,
Hmm.
as a total hobbyist, I actually found it easier just to make the model and take photos of it, different angles, than drawing every frame.
Right.
Um, so it's just down to laziness, really. I got into stop motion.
Hmm.
Um, was it a childhood passion? I've always thought it looked cool, like really, really, really cool.
Hmm.
Um, like cooler than other animation. Actually, no, I quite like computer animation.
What, like 3D
Uh,
Blender kind of stuff, or?
like Toy Story and Pixar stuff. I think that
Ah.
looks brilliant.
Hmm.
Um, like, they're great. And then I like Studio Ghibli stuff or Ghibli, however it's said.
Right.
But I guess there's still something a bit novel about um stop motion because it just takes ages, which I guess a lot of people can't be bothered with. But I find the
Right.
other kind of animation takes ages as well. So I don't know. Uh, yeah.
Plus, a lot of people have to worry about space too. I think how much space is all of your figures and everything taken up, and your workspace where you take your pictures and.
I mean, I've just got one little table, and
Mm.
then I've got like a keyboard stand which I put my camera on,
Oh yeah.
and it just takes up like one kind of storage thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, sorry, I think I cut out there. I got like one table and my camera's on a keyboard stand thing, and
Right.
then they're all in just one kind of storage thing, which is not too big.
Okay, so it doesn't take up too much room, huh?
No, not really. Not
Oh, okay.
really. I mean, more room than I would like because it's just nonsense stuff. Um, but then I've got like crates of just weird materials like fluff and plasticine and bits which have interesting shapes to them that I want to cast or something like that.
Keep using them.
Yeah, Prometheus and Bob. I've
Cut out a bit there. Cut out a bit there, but you were saying what something about Prometheus and Bob because someone was asking if that was ever a point of reference.
Yeah, what is Prometheus and Bob? I've never heard of it.
So I don't know if it was American specifically, but I do know as an American it ran on our Cartoon Networks. Sometimes I think it was on Nick at Night. There was
Hmm.
this like stop motion. I've got it on screen right now actually, but there was
Yeah.
this like claymation stop motion alien and caveman that would kind of interact with each other. They were like little shorts in between shows. And the caveman would always like do something kind of stupid and mess with the alien and it would piss him off.
Ah, fucking caveman. Jesus Christ. Bloody caveman.
It's his fault for going up to him, if I'm honest.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, no, never heard of it. It looks cool. Um, we had this program called Trapdoor, which was just blobs of plasticine.
Mm-hmm.
Very low budget, but really charming. And great music as well.
Oh, interesting. I've seen this before.
Yeah. Like, there's not really much story to it. It's just like every episode they're told don't go into the trapdoor, and then you know what they do?
They do it.
They
Go
fucking
right
go
in.
into the trapdoor,
Yeah, they
and there's
do.
some weird shit down there.
Oh, indeed.
It's great.
Oh, like some actual weird shit too. You're not messing around.
Like really weird shit.
Gross as hell. Oh my
Like
god.
monstrous stuff and
Yeah, wow. This is what, for
things which,
kids?
yeah, but I don't know. I really liked it as a kid. I liked the peril. I liked that
Mm-hmm.
they were seemed in mortal danger, but even if they got hurt, they were made of plasticine, so it didn't
It's fine.
really matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was cool.
Everything just reset next episode, anyways, right?
Well, they just kind of squidged back together. I think
Yeah.
they get chopped in half and get squidged back together. What else? And then Robot Chicken, I remember seeing maybe one or two, but I didn't really get the sense of humor. It was a bit kind of not very funny. But there was a show called The Adam and Joe Show.
Mm.
Action League. Yeah,
Oops, don't mind
someone mentioned that as well. I've not heard of that. It's an American thing. The Adam and Joe Show, that was very funny. And I think it's still funny if you watch it. But the taller guy, Joe, went on
that.
to become a very good film director. And then the other guy turned out to be a bit of a posh fool.
Yeah. Bit of a winker.
Bit of a wanker. That's it. That's what we say in the UK.
See, I can keep up.
Yeah, bit of a wanker. Well, there's this pop singer called Robbie Williams over here,
Mm-hmm.
and he's his music's shit. He was part of a boy band, and his music is this kind of like, I don't know, anthemic pop ballads kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And no one likes his music, but the guy himself is pretty lovely guy, really sweet guy,
Uh-huh.
and he was on, and Adam just made fun of him all the time, was really rude to him, and you're like, yeah, I know you're trying to be cool with the cool kids, but this guy's really nice, so it really put me off him.
Right, okay.
Key and Peele, well, Key and Peele was much more contemporary, right? That's quite. Is that still going? Or I don't know.
Oh, I
Oh
don't think it's still
no,
going.
no.
It
They
was like
one of them went
early
on to be a
20.
director as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Is it Peele's the director now? Jordan Peele?
That's him. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never saw that. I saw clips of it. Very funny.
It was a little contemporary, 2012 to 2015.
Oh my God. God, I'm so old. These things feel like they're still happening.
That's I know. I'm like that's like I guess kind of I don't want to call it old, but then I feel old.
Fucking hell, that's like almost 10 years. That's over. That's like, oh my
That's over 10.
God.
At
Jesus
least from when
Christ.
it started, yeah.
It's cool being a streamer. You just like chat with people and then you have chatting to you as well.
Yeah, you just fucking talk all day.
You're really good at it. You're really good at it.
Thanks. I've been doing it for a while, so I
Yeah.
can yeah. Not as consistently as I have been recently, but it's taken some practice. I didn't used to have this much self-confidence. I used to be a bit of a wet blanket, I think.
Define wet blanket. Like you pee.
Um
Be the bed. Well,
No, no,
no.
no, no, like, I don't know, I wasn't always fun to talk to. I'd get anxious and nervous.
Yeah.
I'd stutter a bunch. I wouldn't know exactly how to keep the conversation going properly.
Yeah. Well, I'm quite like that. Uh, yeah. And what's your plan with the streaming? You said you want to start doing something.
Oh, yeah, I wanna branch out a little bit, but, I don't know, I haven't talked to anyone about it yet. This interview was a fun kind of foot in the door. I wanna do more interviews. I wanna kinda uplift games and show people them so that I can kind of hopefully, even if just one person buys the damn thing, kind
Mm.
of keep the money. Everybody knows about AAA games, but I'm so sick of them, and I really kinda want indie devs to be at the forefront. I don't know.
What do you think about all that? I like I've seen a lot of people say um in AAA is dying out,
Mhm.
and it seems like that's a kind of impossibility because it just makes so much money.
Right.
Maybe with such inflated budgets and such huge teams, yeah, that's not sustainable.
Mhm.
But there's always going to be these $100 million games, and um, but what do you think the state of indie games is? Because it constantly feels like it's in crisis for me.
No, definitely, and, I mean, I don't feel like this year has gotten any better, unfortunately. I think people keep talking about it like it's getting better, but more and more indies are releasing all the time. More and more people, I feel like, are trying to get into the industry, and there's a lot of great games to be played, but there's just a complete lack of discoverability for some reason.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know where it is that everybody is playing these like lukewarm to dog shit AAA games and
Mm.
talking about them like it's going out of style when there's so many wonderful indie games that they could be playing and talking positively about instead of complaining about. I think that's a huge issue right now.
Yeah, Vinny. Yeah, I know discoverability just seems really impossible. Like my little RPG Maker game's got more coverage than Judero. I don't want to complain about it because I'm really
No, but
grateful for all the
right.
streamers and stuff. But we we only really got two proper reviews, so we're not even on Metacritic. Um, and like I wrote so many press releases,
Right.
probably around over 100, and just it's interesting because there's so many good indie games,
Mhm.
but big sites don't cover them because they probably because they don't generate traffic.
Right.
So it's kind of weird. But then yeah, Vinny Vinesauce played it,
Mhm.
um, which I was kind of blown away by. That was a press release which worked.
Mhm.
He's a lovely guy. He's actually there's a few streamers and YouTubers, and they're just they don't need to be, but they're lovely people.
Mhm.
And um, like they kind of seem to be, at least in DMs, at least in DMs, they seem to be the authentic person that they are on stream or whatever, which is cool. Um,
Yeah,
but what was I going to say? But you can see that his videos got in a day like 35,000 views,
Mhm.
which seems pretty good. That's more than his Silent Hill 4 video and stuff like that. So people are seem to be pretty interested in seeing alternative stuff.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yeah, and I have to wonder sometimes if it's like, you've got like all of these games journalists that won't cover indie games, and you've got a lot of certain types of streamers. I don't want to, diminish all streamers, but you've got certain types of streamers that won't play indie games. And sometimes it feels like it's because there's so much money in the AAA industry, right? Like
mm,
some as and I'm kind of talking out my ass here because it's not like I have receipts to show anything, but sometimes it feels like there's so much money within these AAA games that they can just kind of buy reviews, or they can buy press coverage, or they can buy someone streaming the game for them because they've got a lot of money to put in it. And sometimes I wonder if that's where the issue from discoverability comes to.
Yeah, I mean it's literally it's literally that. I mean, I'm not sure about the review thing. I don't think anyone would get very far with buying reviews. As soon as they were caught out for it, then
Right.
both the site and the game would be ridiculed.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be kind of close to that sometimes. I've heard that journalists are flown out to certain places to get a preview of the game, and that
Mm-hmm.
seems like you know
Kind of
seems
buying
kind
it.
of like it's going to be hard to be unbiased there.
Right.
Um, and you see people streaming games and playing games on YouTube, and it will be like, so this is a sponsored post, and that means that they've been paid $10,000 or something to play a
Right.
game
To
for
just
half an
play
hour.
it. Totally.
Yeah, so they're gonna probably be pretty positive about it because they want to be considered for another play of a game. But
Totally.
as similar to you, I don't have receipts. 20,000 for some streamers. Okay, look at that.
Wow.
Um, but yeah, I didn't pay Vinny anything for it. He was just really lovely. Said, "Oh God, this looks really cool. I'd love to play it," and that was nice.
Well, and it's great that
Yeah,
he doesn't just. There's a lot of streamers I feel that play indie games in their own time and then just don't talk about it. It's like, man,
yeah.
they really like, they really need you to talk about it. Everybody really is hurting. I think even if someone's doing decent with selling their indie game, like they could sell more, right? The industry is expensive to stay in. Everybody needs what they can get.
Well, the industry's huge. It's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely huge. Like, um, I kind of jumped in at the deep end really with trying to market this game in the
Mm-hmm.
past month or two. But the place which has just been the most successful place for getting like wish lists and generating interest has actually been Steam itself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just because there's just millions and millions of users on it, but they all kind of get filtered off into very specific things, into like, so I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I hope indie games can carry on going because I think that yeah, they have a lot. I think they're just kind of more fun for me in general.
Yeah. They don't. I feel like even when you're playing a day one indie by a solo or a small team and it's got a couple glitches and stuff, it's never as egregious as, a lot of these modern AAAs, and they don't take as much money from you, and they listen to you when you say that there's something wrong with the game or that you couldn't progress to a certain area. I mean, how many times have you played a AAA and you get soft locked and it's just like tough cookies, start a new save?
Yeah, Elden Ring for me on day one was was having these big black squares just kind of
Oh God.
coming up, and I wasn't the only one. I saw loads of
Hmm.
people had the same kind of thing,
Right.
and that's Elden Ring, you know, one of the best games I ever made.
Quote unquote.
Uh, and that wasn't fixed for like 3 days or something. But yeah, yeah. Um, what games are you looking forward to?
Oh gosh, I don't know. There's a good amount of games. I mean, yours was the honestly. I'm just 100% honest. Yours was the one that I was just sitting here waiting for a long time. So now I don't really know what I'm doing with
Weird.
my life anymore.
All right.
um, Phoenix Springs is
Oh,
coming out on the 31st. The no, there's no 31st this month. It's coming out. They delayed it, I think, a little, maybe the 7th. Um, but that one looks really good. Phoenix Springs.
oh yeah.
It is it's like a detective game, but it's not based on like items, it's based on like information basically. So you'll have like words and information to put together to try and solve a mystery.
Yeah, I'm just worried. It looks beautiful.
Oh
That's
yeah.
just worried it might be a little bit boring.
Yeah. Yeah, you always got to take your chances. Some of them are pretty walking simulator.
Hmm.
I just played what Harold Halibut recently, and that was great. Great game, it was super fun. But I don't dismiss anyone that was calling it boring. It was a slow burn, like Wes
Yeah,
Anderson type story in a
yeah.
video game.
It looked too boring for me.
You
It
a
looked
fast
too.
paced kind of person. You need things going on.
Ah, when it comes to games, I would say yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even like reading a lot, really,
Mm,
unless it's r- unless it's really snappy.
right.
Um, yeah. I don't. Some indie games, like RPG Maker games, can be pretty slow paced,
Mhm.
but they're usually got so much heart in them. The
Mhm.
characters are so charming. Um, I guess is Undertale slow paced?
I guess you could call it that. There's a lot of like comedy beats and things to think about in the moment that breaks it up though.
I never finished Undertale. I didn't know how to beat it.
Oh, really?
I think it got good after that part as well. I think it got meta after the part which I couldn't get past.
What was the last thing you did?
It was like a boss, and I couldn't work out how to kill him without hurting him. I didn't want to hurt him.
Oh, okay.
Like a big
Interesting.
knight, I think it was.
Blue
I don't know.
fish.
Yeah, maybe bluefish. Um,
You're gonna Google it.
yeah.
Undyne. Oh, we may have gotten a little
No, no, I
ahead.
got past bluefish.
Oh, okay. Huh. The
Undyne.
robot?
Maybe it was robot. Oh, okay, doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, in that game, if it was slow paced, I didn't know.
Didn't notice it, right?
So it's not like I'm entirely against it, but when it feels plodding, um, which I think Harold Halibut would have been.
Yeah, there's not as much mixing it up. It's mostly walking from point A to point B and kind of getting some dialogue once you get to point B.
Right.
Yeah.
Asgore, who's that? Yeah, Asgore. That's the.
That's the
Bastard.
one. You got pretty
Cool.
far.
Yeah, I think that's like the second last boss.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You were
couldn't
pretty
beat
close
it.
to the end, realistically.
Shit. Shit on it.
Now you just got to pick it up again at some point.
Dude, yeah. Well, there's lots of cool games coming out. I think Death of the Reprobate will be really fun.
Oh, interesting. Let me check that one out.
It's like Renaissance art, but it's all cut up and animated. It's got a real fun sense of humor. I really like the game developer as
Oh,
well.
yes. He made what, Procession to the Calvary?
Yeah,
Yes, great game. Yes. It was on my wish list.
yeah, that's funny as well. What else is on my wish list? Probably things which are out. Do you like horror games?
Okay, so I I like horror games, but I'm a bitch. I'm a total bitch. So I'm one of those people that like puts down the controller and lets the thing kill me.
What, like, you get scared very easily, or what?
Yeah, like I like horror movies, but it's because I know that the person in the situation's gonna either just die and that's supposed to happen or get out of it. But when I die in a
Hmm.
horror game, like I don't know, it fucks with me. Like it's not supposed to happen, so I don't like playing them. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, I find them terribly scary. As I said, I kind of laugh at horror movies. I
Hmm.
find them just so fun. Um, but yeah, scary games. I find I don't know.
Truly horrifying.
I can't even do them. My
Yeah, you can't play them?
spine gets tense. I just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh Jesus.
Yeah,
But
totally.
there's this series called Fears to Fathom,
Oh.
which are just about bearable, and they're kind of
Mm-hmm.
like true crime horror
Interesting.
with like house break-ins and stuff. Anyway, I played
Right.
the first one. I played the first one, and so you're like a teenager, you're left home alone, and someone breaks into your house. And I beat it by hiding under the bed and waiting for the police to come. I was like, oh, okay, that's brilliant. I loved it.
Right.
You know, that's what I would do in real life.
Right. Yeah, no, because I'm not
Yeah,
fucking with that guy.
no way, no way.
He can take what he
But
wants.
there's other ones, and yeah, am I too chicken to play them? I don't know. Okay, interesting. Okay, I better go. It's 11 o'clock now.
Oh, I
Um,
understand. Hey, thanks for sticking around and talking with us.
no worries, no worries. And if I can think of anyone else to, wait, what are people saying? They calling me a bitch.
I'm a bitch. No, 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 no. I'm definitely Cypher's telling me that I'm bitch made for sure.
Yeah, okay.
They wouldn't call you a
Hey,
bitch. They call me a bitch.
hey, Hell Ripper, 1997. Are you named after the Scottish heavy metal band Hell Ripper? Who knows?
May take him a minute, but he'll answer. He said yes.
Yes, you're joking.
Now you guys are best friends.
I went to see Hell Ripper a few months ago, supported
That's
by Coffin Mulch. I
that's
love
how we
Hell
knew.
Ripper.
Wow, were they good? Concert and live?
Ah, brilliant, brilliant. Like I really like heavy metal,
Mm-hmm.
like heavy metal, and it was just good to see. I don't know, like teenagers crowd surfing, like proper audience. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's great to see proper live music as opposed to just people kind of standing about being gentle and
Shuffling.
yeah, yeah, people sweating and yeah, it was good. It was good. Hellripper was great. That's so funny. Well done, Hellripper. Very cool. I'm not sure I believe you, but anyway, cool. Hey, Pizza, that was just a privilege. I could chat with you all night, but
Oh, it
anyway,
was wonderful.
and encourage your partner to make games. He can do it.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know if you're all right. I'll send you DMs every now and then to say yo, cool.
Oh, of course. Yes. I'd love to do this again. Other games. This was fantastic.
Okay. How do I say goodbye? Do I just close the Discord?
Yep. You just click out. Just click disconnect.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Keep well. Bye.
Have a good one. All right, everybody. Hey, give me but a moment. I think I'm going to take a tiny, tiny siesta, and then you and I will chit chat for a little bit before the end of the night, okay? That was Jack King Spooner, one of the creators of Judero. Thank you so much for being here, Jack. I really appreciate you. I know he's gone now, but still, thank you so much. That was so much fun. That was a great time. Glad we could talk, hang out. Oh, diggity darn. I did get that creator on my stream, brother. Thank you. Oh, thank you, everyone. Seriously, goddamn. Y'all were so amazing. What the fuck? What? Can I just talk really quick? I have the best chat ever in the whole world. I love you guys so much. I can't describe. Y'all just like were super good about me not talking to any of you today. You were super great about like interacting with us and our questions and stuff like that. Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck! Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt the interview, so I'll do it now. Don't be sorry. Thank you all so much. Cap, thank you for the gifty, by the way, to Tala, which was also, by the way, Tala was in here. Tala was the other director of the game, or creator of the game. I said director. I'm too used to talking about movies, brother. But yes, so thank you for gifting him a sub. Thank you for your resub. Everything. Thank you guys so much. It was so much fun today. We'll probably just talk for like another, I don't know, half hour, something like that. Chill with one another before I call it a day. Little impromptu kind of interview. Jack and I were talking before we went live with the with the stream, and he's like, "Are you gonna do like the whole introduction, like?" Hey, it's the creator of Judero here today with our interview, Jack King Spooner. Welcome in. I was like, oh, I don't know. I guess I was kind of thinking about doing that. Do you not want me to? He's like, don't, please don't. I'm like, all right, we'll make it so impromptu. It'll be so chill, dude. I'll barely even look at my notes. Fuck it. I had my notes up the whole time, but it was like, oh, fuck it. We'll just, who cares? Loosey goosey. So I hope it felt good to everybody. Like I said, I wasn't going teleprompter off of the questions. I kind of just wanted to ask things and do things in a way that felt good when talking about them. So hope it went well. Hope it flowed properly. Thought I would never see a Hellripper fan. That's fucking awesome, though. Dude, okay, and the fact that, like, he brought up both of your names, like, Hellripper and Cap, like, so awesome. I really loved that. And actually, it was so cool because, like, okay, so I get to talk about this now. Cap, I just learned about your fucking username, like, the other day. Like, literally just the other day. I finally watched Cure, which was fantastic, by the way. Cap, I don't know if I can't remember if you're the one that told me to watch Cure or what it was, but I watched Cure finally, and they referenced that fairy tale, folklore, whatever it is. They referenced that in the beginning of Cure. It's so good. Oh my god. So I could keep up with that conversation. I felt so cool. I felt so fucking cool to know what he was talking about. I just got to sit back and like cross my arms and like nod and be like, yeah, that's exactly what that story's about. Yeah, Like I had any fucking clue before like 4 days ago. I think it was even sooner. I think we watched The Cure like 3 days ago. I'm still calling it The Cure too. There's no the. Pitch? There's no the. I didn't know about that either. I just chose a pirate name. You're fucking kidding. Wait, you're kidding? Wait, you're kidding? You didn't know? That's actually hilarious. Wait, that's actually so fucking hilarious. I thought I like unlocked a clue to your brain. I thought I knew something more about you. You didn't even know the lore behind your own name. I know more about you than you know about yourself, brother. Holy shit. God, I'm a fucking streamer. God, I do this professionally. Ah! It's kind of crazy. It's a little wild. Bro, when that guy said that I talked good, I was like, yes, yes. This is what I've been working towards. My years of awkward streaming finally coming to a head. I was happy. Anyways, this is a good day, chat. I'm really like, I'm up, chat. I gotta say, listen, I know we're not on the interview screen anymore. Buy Judero, please. Please buy Judero. If you could buy Judero, that would make me so happy. I know we just talked about a lot of it, and maybe there are some spoilers and stuff like that in here. But I hope that overall, I mean, the story is mostly a feeling. I hope that you can still enjoy it on your own as a feeling. You know, and he talks about it being a deeply personal, or I guess emotional story. But maybe it wasn't intended to be. I guess I'm just one of those people where, like, I'm extracting emotion out of everything. Constantly. I'm constantly like, look at all the emotions and the thoughts. Oh, it's so deep. And a bunch of people are like, I actually just wrote it. I don't know. Didn't really mean that much, brother. So, I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna get something out of it, though. You're only slightly having a room full of dead kids. Okay, well, I guess there's that. I think it's, I feel like it's more a story of, like, curiosity killed the cat thing. Or maybe it's a story of like your actions will catch up with you eventually. Like he loved this woman and she just couldn't not look in the room full of dead kids. And she was like, what the fuck? And he's like, well, shit, now I have to kill her. God damn it. If only I didn't kill all those kids back in the day. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you want to look at the story. It's all about perspective. Hey, you know, at the end of the day, isn't that what Judero's saying too? It's all about perspective, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about perspective. You know, and I didn't get to bring up this screenshot when Tala was here. Or fucking Tala. Well, Jack was here. Why did I say that? But I really like this screenshot. And it kind of plays into the Glass Mountain thing that I was talking about a little bit. Only I could view the world from far above the forest and understand that this is an interior view. I like that. I like that line. If only I could get out of here and view things differently. But I can't. I can't do that. It's a pipe dream. That's what makes me feel like the ending is such a pipe dream, such a fantasy. I don't know. And again, maybe it's 2 years of emotion, you know, there's so much going into... I can't imagine spending 2 years writing one story and not having it change and morph and become a lot of different things all at once at the same time, right? Yeah, just something I wanted to bring up. God damn it, stop clicking that one. Ah! Stop clicking that. Okay. Oh, I had this one too. Here, hold on. I had a couple good screenshots, but I couldn't bring them all up. There's this one right here that I really like. This one, haunted by waning ghosts of love. And here, let me see. Whose lips and flesh never met. I like these ones. Made me kind of think of, made me think of Mob. He's with Bessie, right? But he never really was, I don't know. Just makes me think of him. I like this story a lot. Fantastic. Fantastic.